Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the High School Sports Beat. I'm Dave Yates. It's time now for the High School Notebook, and that, of course, means it is time for Matt Trabold to join us. Matt, thank you so much for hopping on board.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course, always, sir. And it's time to hand out some bricks around here. One of those things that, every time we come to the end of a season and titles are awarded, it seems like we didn't think we were going to get here. We did it again. Talking basketball this time. Let's start off with boys AA.
And especially this season, on top of what you just said, Dave, it is hard to ask for a better matchup in a title game in the highest classification than what you got with the one I'm about to talk about. You had a couple recent heavy hitters in the sport that have put together some good records over the past few years in boys hoops around here. The top two seeds in the bracket, with Victor hosting Gates Chili, especially with how schedules were put together this regular season in this pandemic school year. The Blue Devils and Spartans played multiple times in the regular season. That would not usually happen. Gates won the first battle by a couple possessions, and Victor got revenge March 4th by double digits on top of it. A rubber match in the ship only added to the narrative. The Spartans' top option, talked about it before, Adam Williams, scored 16 in the first two quarters as the 2 seed was up 10 at the break. Then, led by clutch second half consistency and a combined 58 points from the front line of Phil Ungwo, Connor Williams, CJ James. That's a lot of points, even with those guys being big-time performers over the past couple seasons. So Victor stormed back. Adam Williams sent it to OT with a layup with 3 seconds left. Fellow senior Devin Payton was the main man in OT, including icing it with 21 ticks left. In the extra session, with a hand right in his face, Devin released the shot further back than usual and got a shooter's bounce. First title for the Gates program since 2009. Also want to mention Andrew Newcomb is such a good passer, one of the top passers, even though he's a front court player in Section 5.
All right, going over now to the girls' side of things, and let's talk about the AA girls action.
For the third year in a row, the Class AA Girls Basketball Sectional Final was Bishop Kearney against Penfield. Before even discussing the final result, this matchup was different in a couple major ways from those two other games. First off, Penfield was only a 6 seed this time around, which is lower than they usually have, especially under Mark Vogt. That's a very storied program. A big reason for that was the Patriots playing the top dog in Class A, Pittsford Mendon, multiple times for the first season in a number of years, like I was talking about with the boys game. That doesn't usually happen, but just the interesting scheduling for this COVID-19 season. Also, Kearney was still without elite national recruit and Seton Hall commit Sanaya Wilson. BK still had a ton of other talent, including 2 more D1 commits. Penfield led for much of the game, including by 9, with under 6 to go after an Emma Blumenstock 3. Elisa Ficlara starred on both ends in this one, and Haley Emick had a double-double with 17 boards for the Pats. Kevin Shepard's team came back late in the fourth quarter. There was a 5-0 run in just 16 seconds by Mariana Freeman and Kaya Good. Then Chicago State commit Taylor Norris. Great post move to tie it. In the end, though, Eva Elliott and Emick solidified the win at the charity stripe for the upset.
Let's go back to boys now. Let's talk about a crown that's going to Pittsford.
Last week, we talked about the Pittsford Mendon girls basketball team, who did end up winning their 5th sectional title in a row this past week for Todd Julian and company. Now we are talking about the 2021 title team for the Vikings boys hoops program. Bob Nally's group completed an undefeated 2021 season by holding off Keenan Robertson, Rowan McGuinn, and Rhonda Coit 57-52. Before that game, the Vikings had only one other win within 15 points this year before that title tilt, which was a 9-point win versus Honey Falls Lima back in mid-February. This season, Jackson Green seamlessly made the move from star freshman to star sophomore. Luke Koiser could be the top role expansion this year from last season in all of Section 5. That's definitely a possibility there. He needs props. 6'4" Kidder Lindley would start from any large school Section 5 teams. Really shows the depth, so much depth. Also including Will Connors, Caleb Lewis, Brady Miller, big man Eric Crowell. And then there's that dude, Jacob Shatters, the Charleston Southern commit. One of the most interesting parts about Section 5 boys hoops that I've noticed in my years covering it is Jacob taking all of their opening tips as the starting point guard. Not the tallest guy on the squad at 6'2", but so precise, crafty, also underrated athletically. He frequently wins them versus taller opponents on top of that.
Well, it was a heck of a weekend for Pittsford. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention the hockey team winning in triple overtime to take the Class A title. And congrats also to Penfield, their hockey team winning the Class B crown. Matt, as always, thanks for joining us. Great stuff. And we'll see you again next week.
Thanks for having me on.
All right, we're back with more of the High School Sports Beat right after this.